Stop the hammering. Stop the hammering out there. Who's got a hammer? Where is it? Where's the hammer? Is it on the... Go up on the other floor. Somebody go up there and stop the hammering. Stop the hammering.
Sorry, Larry. That was me. See you when I get home. He went on the attack over a quarterback. Friday night, Donald Trump's in Alabama to support a guy named Luther Strange. Great name, but I kind of expect him to live under the sea in a cave made of skulls, Luther Strange. But one thing we learned about Luther, he's not small.
Big Luther Strange. So, Luther, that's why I call him Big Luther. Everyone's now calling him Big Luther. I said, that is the tallest human being I've ever seen. A guy 7 feet tall. What are you going to do? Call him? I could never call him Little Luther, right? Big Luther. We call him now Big Luther. Did people call you Big Luther before you met Trump?
I don't know, but I think Donald likes big guys. But it was more than just his height. Trump likes Strange because he didn't have to meet his family.
Do I have to have dinner with your family? Do I have to have dinner with you and your wife? No, sir, you don't have to have anything. Mr. President, you have my total support.
I kind of like that honesty. He even tells you how to get a bill passed.
You know, they like to say, well, Mr. Trump, President Trump, sat in the Oval Office and didn't do. I'm on the phone screaming at people all day long for weeks.
Now, you don't normally hear that from politicians. Trump's kind of like the plumber who tells you why the toilet keeps clogging. You want transparency? He told them all right then and there that he didn't even want to be there.
The last thing I want to do is be involved in a primary, okay? I could be sitting home right now getting to watch some of the games tomorrow, getting ready, right?
Yes, the games. The games. Then came the part where every liberal loses their
Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
That's a historical first. And like clockwork, it triggered the predictables.
Calling out NFL players, and now today calling out Steph Curry, one of the most popular athletes on the planet.
Yeah, who I'm sure is just devastated that he doesn't get to hang out with Donald Trump.
All right, enough. If ESPN sportscasters can talk politics, why can't a president talk sports? And before you accuse Trump of politicizing sports, it wasn't Trump who introduced an attention-seeking protest into the NFL or wore socks with pigs dressed like cops on them. Who politicized the game? It wasn't Trump. Try the media and their obsession with identity politics, who elevated a dim quarterback into their millionaire martyr. If anything, Trump's the least political creature on earth. Unlike the sports hacks and callow media, Trump doesn't read anyone's minds. He responds to actions. But he does hate those penalties.
Because, you know, today if you hit too hard, right, they hit too hard, 15 yards, throw him out of the game. Boom, 15 yards. The referee gets on television. His wife is sitting at home. She's so proud of him. They're ruining the game.
So there it is. Your 71-year-old dad is president. At any moment, he could start complaining about the Frisbee that landed in his yard. Speaking of critics, he couldn't leave out CNN, one of the classics in his album of greatest hits.
Like CNN has a red light on, and then I start saying it's fake news, and you see that light go off so fast. If there's an empty seat, they'll show that empty seat. Two people. They got up, they went to the bathroom.
That's his free bird. In North Korea, that's his stairway to heaven. Sorry, Rocket Man.
By the way, Rocket Man should have been handled a long time ago. Little Rocket Man. Maybe something gets worked out, and maybe it doesn't. But I can tell you one thing, you are protected.
So after decades... Well, crap. After decades of North Korea talking trash to us, Trump returns fire and fury. And it's working. China's getting it. So is the UN. Who knew you could be scary and reasonable? Not some in the media who actually take North Korea's side, the side of a murderous madman with sex slaves in prison camps. Meanwhile, Trump's message to the world is simple.
As President of the United States, I will always put America first. Just like you, as the leaders of your countries, will always and should always put your countries first.
It's a pendulum swing from the academic to the acerbic. Obama's teacher's lounge now erased by the blunt language of the construction site. And it's not about I, it's about we. So congrats, America. Trump gives us two for the price of one, a president and a performer, a Republican and a Rickles. So come on, media, be honest. You love this. There's nothing like this. Your ratings are up, and after 8 years of sucking up, you're actually working for a living. Boo-hoo. The more hand-wringing you do, the sillier you look. Obama and Trump share similar thoughts on North Korea, but Obama said it like a politician.
We could obviously destroy North Korea with our arsenals, but aside from the humanitarian costs of that, they are right next door to our vital ally, Republic of Korea.
True, but Trump says it like us.
Rocket Man is on a suicide mission for himself.
See, if this were named that tune, Donald will always win. Obama's a librarian, Trump's a barbarian, and it's working. Previous presidents engaged in strategic patience. Trump hits him with tougher sanctions. He put muscle on China, and China bowed. Yes, look who's bowing now. The UN, which loved Obama, didn't do jack. Now they are. Why? Because Trump scares them. They're bowing now. Trump turned the tables on that Benetton cafeteria of incompetent freeloaders and dropped an elbow on Venezuela's head.
We call for the full restoration of democracy and political freedoms in Venezuela. The problem in Venezuela is not that socialism has been poorly implemented, but that socialism has been faithfully implemented.
That's a pretty good line. So, of course, the truth ticks off a lot of people, and it's the people you normally can't stand.
So what's behind this bellicose talk? Is this about feeding his base? Well, it sounds like what he said about African-American neighborhoods during the campaign. Remember, he was just trashing some of the neighborhoods, tough neighborhoods, but what good is it to trash them?
Well, yeah, it's a worldview that I just don't share, Anderson. The worldview that the president articulated is America first.
You know it's good when it pisses off the people who piss you off. The people who can't see any progress through their prism of dislike. It's like they took those eclipse glasses from last month and they repurposed them.
Until recently, you didn't even know eclipse glasses were a thing. But did you know that same technology is available in an incredible new product? They're called sunglasses. Using patented leftist technology, sunglasses filter out all the things you don't want to see, like solid economic growth, soaring stock market, lower unemployment, ditching the Paris Accords, decimating ISIS, fewer illegal border crossings, standing up to North Korea, and of course, no-nonsense Neil Gorsuch.
Ever since I got sunglasses, I've been sad and angry and unable to see the president's accomplishments. Thanks, sunglasses.
And if you act now, we'll throw in a bonus pair of our newest product, Hooray Bands. Hooray Bands eliminate unsightly everyday irritants, so you can be happy for once. Don't want to see a single episode of HBO's Girls? We got you. Sick of those middle school honor student bumper stickers? You know we got you. Got overdue credit card, cell phone, and mortgage payments? You need to take the glasses off and pay that. You got a responsibility, bro. So get your sunglasses and Hooray Bands today.
Let's welcome tonight's guests. What's sharp and funny and long all over? Executive producer of Kevin Can Wait, Rob Long. He's also the author of Big League, Donald Trump in verse. She's so sharp balloons have restraining orders against her. Staff writer at the Federalist, Bree Payton. She thought Rosemary's Baby was a comedy. National Review reporter Kat Timpf. And the pyramids are his golf tees. Former bodyguard and massive sidekick, Tyrus. All right. Rob, we got a lot to cover here. What did you make of his speech on Friday?
The UN speech.
No, the speech. I'm sorry, the rally in Alabama.
The rally in Alabama. Well, this is where he goes when he feels like he might be a little bit in trouble. He had a couple of bad weeks. It's kind of a good thing. He likes that stuff. But the great thing about it is that he really, it's like a show business, like flyby.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here. I could be anywhere. I'm doing this for you. I mean, it's fantastic stuff. But like, I'm not entirely sure it was politically smart. I mean, to get into a midterm like that or a special election is not the smartest thing for a president to do.
The guy's name is Luther Strange.
Dr. Luther Strange. I put the doctor there. He's not a doctor, but I think it's better than Dr. Luther Strange.
It is.
Dr. Strange.
He's from the Marvel Comics series, Luther Strange.
Yeah.
He was infected by some kind of radiation. He was what was he? Was he a veterinarian?
He was a vet tech.
He was bitten by a radioactive rabbit.
Right.
Dr. Luther Strange. Right. Bree, you seem like you're scared right now.
Okay, my favorite part of that whole rally was when he was like, oh, I may have made a mistake by endorsing Luther. And then was like, oh, but whatever, I did it anyway. Like, I'm too far, I can't give up now. And I think that this is honestly kind of a feature more than a bug in that we're always privy to his inner monologue all the time, right? And then the members of the media spend hours and hours and days parsing what he really meant when we know exactly what he meant, and he said it.
Tyrus, I feel like when he's talking to me that he's actually in my living room, and that he's like, and he does not change. So when he was talking about Colin Kaepernick, it's like that he was like, that's what he would say, and that's what even if you disagree with him, it's like, well, he could say it's kind of refreshing, right? No.
Here's the thing. Whenever he has a speech in that setting, I'm just expecting, because there's no teleprompter and there's no going, Mr. Trump, no, Mr. Trump, no. It's him on the mic, and it's night at the Improv, and he's just whatever hits him, whatever, he's looking at the crowd. Somebody had a football show. Okay, football. Maybe not. Calm sons of bitches. Probably not a good move. And and when the issue was the refs get it bad enough.
Yeah.
They don't make the rule changes, bruh. So don't put it on the refs. And the concussion thing is kind of a big deal right now. So give the refs a break. But like he has those things, and I felt bad for Dr. Strange.
Yes.
Because the strange thing was, it wasn't really about him. Like at one point, I wish he would have been, you can go now. Because he was talking to his base about his rough week, and he got his shots on, and he fired at CNN. So now CNN does a split screen when he talks. Like it's his little genre to basically, it's his living room.
Yeah.
It's the things that I would say in my living room without a camera, a wire, and children. So, and he's doing it on the grand stage. So that's probably why a lot of people have issues with it. I don't agree with half the stuff that he said, especially about the football stuff. I think America, one of the good things about America is we can disagree, and we can, if you want to protest and it's not hurting anybody else, I'm fine, whatever.
I'm kind of with you, except that they also can fire you if you're doing it on the clock. That's the only thing. But I agree with you. It's like it's not like Colin Kaepernick is beating anybody up. He's not Antifa.
No,
he's not hurting anybody.
And it kind of did happen that way.
Yeah, he's taking a knee.
They didn't renew his contract.
Yeah, and they didn't renew his contract. So America works. I want to get Kat in here real quick. Kat.
Yes.
The media is kind of mad. Celebrities are kind of mad. Athletes are kind of mad. North Korea's kind of mad. Everybody's kind of mad. It's kind of a win.
Yes, and I don't believe that they're really mad.
No.
Was the president saying a football player is a son of a B word, a not presidential thing? Of course it was. However, all of your lives are exactly the same now as they were before he said that.
Yeah, it's
so
true.
You're not really mad. You just want to be mad. They're being performatively mad. We all have things in our real lives that are making us way more mad. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, you're right. I mean, these are silly issues to get mad about. But remember, the past 2 weeks, he's kind of doubled back on his strong immigration stance. Suddenly now maybe we won't even build a wall. And he signed a really good or really effective deal with Pelosi and Schumer. So he's got to do something, which is to go back down to Alabama and remind his supporters that he's still the same guy. Now, he's the same guy about something that doesn't matter. And when he gets to D.C., he's a little bit more of a deal maker, a little bit more of a moderate, a little bit more, frankly, of a...
That's I got to go. But that point is interesting. And what do you do when you're a liberal and you thought he was Hitler before DACA, and then he keeps DACA? How can you still think he's Hitler? It creates this cognitive Dissonance? Is that the phrase?
Luckily, he helps you.
Yeah.
He makes a speech to the UN and goes to Alabama.
Exactly.
He's there for you. He's not going to. He doesn't want them to like him.
All right, we got to move on because we have so much more to talk about. The North Korean minister hurled some insults and threats at President Trump on Saturday. That's next. More stuff happening. North Korea's foreign minister spoke before the UN General Assembly. That's fun. Here's some of what he said.
He has tried to turn the UN arena into a gangster's nest where money is respected by Trump, a mentally deranged person full of megalomania and a person who is chastised even by American people as Commander-in-Grief, Lion King, President Evil. None other than Trump himself is on a suicide mission.
Well, that was interesting. It's hard to hear what he said, Kat, but I think he said that our president was evil.
Yes, I'm very shocked to see that President Trump and North Korea are not getting along.
Yeah.
Given the fact that they've always loved us oh so very much. I'm not afraid that I'm going to get blown up by North Korea. I'm just not afraid of it because if they ever did anything to us, they would be completely destroyed. And you know what? They know that over there.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, yeah, they don't like each other, and they're showing it. I don't see it. Whatever.
Tyrus, is this basically trash talk between two sports teams?
No, it's not trash talk between two sports teams. Listen, one thing we've learned.
I'm not stereotyping you by asking that
no, of course not. Yeah, right, whatever. And I'm trying not to fire back with several epitaphs that would describe my feelings right now. Here's the thing. This is not trash. This ain't Ollie, Joe Frazier trash talk right here. This is two guys who aren't very good at trash talking, to the point where he literally was like, yeah, call him that. That's a good one, boss. You're gonna really hurt his feelings. Now they're gonna go back to like Trump, you stupid man, you stupid man, the man who is stupid. Like they got one missile and they keep firing it off in the wrong direction and they're getting a lot of attention, but now he's not just trash talking back, which gives them their plane and their stuff, but he's those backhanded sanctions that are they're even attacking the banks. So it's not working.
Well, you know, the thing is, Bree, I might say that Trump has made more progress in 6 months than 3 presidents have in 24 years. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I have no evidence, but I knew I would get applause. But at least I'm being honest about the fact that I was looking for applause, Bree.
Yeah, and I do think that Trump is being honest, too, in a lot of his remarks. I mean, he's not saying anything we don't already know, right? Saying that, hey, if you do something bad, we'll blow you off the planet. I mean, everyone knows that. I disagree with Tyrus, though. I think that North Korea is pretty good when it comes to the dissing. I had to Google dotard, and it was actually pretty funny.
Yeah,
these are the same people who they have a long history of really funny insults, and they once called Hillary Clinton a funny-looking woman who looks like a pensioner who's out shopping, which I think is rather apt. I mean, these are really on the nose.
I'm sorry, but if you call me a name, I have to go, hold on, let me Google that. Damn, that's not a good diss. Like, you should.
It's interesting, though, Rob. I mean, do you think that we are actually? I feel like we are making progress. I always use this metaphor that we're boiling the water to make an egg. I don't think anybody's ever been that
pretty
clever.
Good.
Thank you.
That's pretty good.
Feel free to use it on your show.
I won't be using that. No, you're absolutely right. Look, part of the problem is that you're right. 25 years, maybe 30 years of American presidents kick the can down the road. It is a serious problem. The guy has more than one missile, and it's actually getting where he wants it to go. We don't have to worry about it. We're in New York.
Yeah.
We probably don't have to worry about it on the West Coast, but they have to worry about it in Japan. They have to worry about it in South Korea. But there's 23 million emaciated North Koreans right now, and they're just waiting for something to happen. The minute it happens, the minute it hits the fan somehow, they're not going to go south. They're going to go north into China. It has always been China's problem.
Right.
It's always been China's solution. China was always a solution. I mean, look, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. I have never said much good about him. He is so totally right about his North Korea policy. He identified early on that it was a Chinese problem, and he's basically saying, look, either you take care of your crazy dog or I'm going to do it. And the Chinese don't want Americans to do that. And he's right to do that. He's right.
I find find it amazing that, like, if you go on Twitter, I saw two people. One was, I think it was Chelsea Handler, and I can't think of the other. It was a journalist who were basically saying, taking the side of North Korea. Right. And it's like, don't you realize what he's actually a homicidal maniac? Yeah. He's killed thousands of people, I believe. He's killed his own family members. But people are more likely to trust him than Trump because their delusion bubble that they're in prevents them from seeing he's doing the right thing.
And it's a real he's a very dangerous guy. I mean, I write a column for National Review. I make fun of him all the time, and I feel bad about it now because it's not funny.
Yeah.
I mean, there are prison camps there. It is as bad as you could imagine.
Yeah.
They are starving. There are prison camps. People are getting killed. This is a bad place.
Yeah.
And he's short and funny, and he's fat, and he wears a jumpsuit, and he's got a crazy Marty Allen haircut.
Yeah.
So people think that's kind of cute and funny, but this is a scary dude.
Well, I just say we wait for Dennis Rodman to come and save the day.
Yeah, of course.
Right? It could happen. You don't know. It could happen. He was good in The Apprentice, wasn't he? I don't remember. Still to come, like a bad cold, Hillary Clinton keeps popping up. If you change the channel, we'll send you a copy of her new book. They're booing. At the end of life on this planet, three things will remain: cockroaches, Twinkies, and Hillary Clinton. Don't boo her. Come on, no booing. We know this because she said this to Stephen Colbert.
Well, you know, I am not going anywhere.
It's true. She's not. Remember, if she runs again, she probably won't win. So the best thing for Hillary haters is to hope she runs again and again and again. She's the political version of a cold sore. Even when it clears up, it always returns, usually when you're about to go to Club Med. Do they still exist? Got to update that joke. Anyway, during her time at The Late Show, Hillary spun her wheel of blame, and it landed on Putin.
He really doesn't like democracy. He thinks it's an inconvenient, messy process. And he doesn't like us. He wants to undermine how we see each other, how we respect each other.
Putin undermines how we see each other? Talk about the pot calling the kettle a basket of deplorables. So here's an exit question. Is Hillary's constant non-apology tour good or bad for her party? Maybe she plans on hanging around forever till she finally wins. If so, just in case, we came up with her next campaign slogans. Hillary 2024. Elect me or I will write another book. Hillary 2028. If the pantsuit still fits, you must not quit. Hillary 2036, even more cyborg than the original. Hillary 2052, I may be 106, but I still got it. Hillary 2060, I drank unicorn blood and will live forever. Worship me, mortals. Hillary 2100, Lord, please don't let me lose to Eric Trump IV. All right. Bree, do you think Hillary should go away or stay? I think she's healthy for the Republican Party.
I think you're definitely right. And I think she's also, she's like the pesky mother-in-law that's never really going to go away, even after you get divorced.
Yes.
Still hanging around, and you're like, I don't know why you're here. We, signed some papers that says you have to go.
Yes.
And I also think my favorite thing that Hillary Clinton has done post-election is the media critic Hillary Clinton, because her criticisms have been honestly so spot on.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, all of the polling that said she was going to have it in the bag led her to believe that she had Wisconsin locked up and she didn't campaign there.
Yeah.
And then I think also all the pantsuit think pieces played a vital role in a lot of people deciding to vote for Donald Trump, so that way they never have to read another pantsuit think piece.
That's true.
Yeah.
Rob, it seems like every day we get a friendly reminder of what could have been.
Right. What might still be. Let's not
exactly.
get too confident in ourselves.
Exactly. She could run with Chelsea.
Well, look, here's the problem. The problem is in normal American politics, when someone loses, the young Turks, whoever the young people are in that party, they sort of take him out in the middle of the courtyard, put a cap in his head, and they say, that's it.
That's not really what happens.
No, but you know what I mean. Yeah, I mean, it's allegorical here.
Allegorically, okay, good. I just want to make that clear. It was an allegory. Yeah. You're saying like you go off into the sunset and retire.
Or the young people stage, they push you out. You're pushed out. You don't leave the stage.
Gotcha.
There aren't any young people there. They don't have a bench.
True. Bernie's young.
Yeah, right. It's Bernie. It's Joe Biden. It's like Bernie, Joe Biden, and Hillary Clinton.
I know.
You don't have any young leaders there. They have a leader problem, not a message problem. They have a messenger problem. The Democratic Party. So as long as there's a vacuum, she should write as many books as she wants. But what it'll take is a younger, exciting Democrat to push her aside.
It's true. So you got Biden. You have Sanders. You have Hillary. It is like a rest home.
You're talking about Sanders.
Really is.
Yeah. It is. It's the day room. The day room at a bad, like, assisted living facility.
I've been there. Tyrus, what do you think? It sounds like Trump's doing a victory tour. She's doing a victim lap.
Yeah, well, it is in style to be the victim, and let's not forget about all this Mueller stuff. I don't think it's any coincidence that she's hanging around for a reason. She might see a glimmer of light if the Russian narrative actually comes back with some indictments and stuff going on. All of a sudden, she goes from our jokes to going, told you. And so that's probably the reason why she's hanging around with the last bit of her advisors are probably like, hey, let's wait and see what happens before we take things off the other. So, where the rest of us are like, go away. But like, it's basically, there's 1% of a chance that maybe it comes back that something was up, and then she'll have her forum, and then she'll be the real victim.
Yeah.
And
reminds me of a guy, it's like a freshman in college who came back to the parking lot of his high school to see if his ex would take him back every day, would just hang out in that parking lot, Kat. Never happened.
Is that my question?
Yes, that is your question. Or did I just lose myself in a memory?
I mean, it's an uncomfortable truth, but that's what she's doing. She's hanging around because
she's hanging around in the parking lot.
She doesn't have to go away, right? She has all these things she can do. Why is she going the route of having people pay her to whine at them?
Yes.
She has all this privilege, all this power, all this money, and that's what you choose? How about you think about some answers for your party if you really care about them? Or if you don't, buy a boat and get drunk on it all day. Either one. Pick one of those.
That's true. She's not helping the party. She's helping herself, and that's wrong, America. You can cut that bit out and put it on your wall. Coming up, he made the worst ad of all time, the video that'll make you laugh, cry, and puke all at once. What do you get when you cross the movie Top Gun with a steaming pile of horse excrement? You get this campaign ad by Virginia Democrat Dan Helmer.
You never hold town halls anymore with constituents. Planned Parenthood and Obamacare you voted against. You're trying hard not to show it.
If he set out to make the worst campaign ad of all time, Helmer, who's challenging Republican Congresswoman Barbara Comstock next year, he passed with flying colors. The ad spoofs a famous Top Gun scene, but sadly not the awesome shirtless volleyball part, which I've reenacted many times with Lou Dobbs. Warning, this next part's gonna hurt.
But Barbara, you know it. You've lost that centrist feeling, 'cause you've been right-wing appealing. We've lost that love and feeling, now it's gone, gone, gone. You've got to go. Ba-doo, 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 doo, doo. Ba-doo, 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 doo, doo.
Nice work, Dan.
Thanks, Maverick.
Ba-doo, doo, doo. Ba-doo, ba-doo.
I'm Dan Helmer. I approve of town halls, bad singing, and this message.
You can't see it right now, but inside I am vomiting. Parts of my organs are failing, Tyrus. Thoughts? You look very sad.
Stop. Please. Don't show that again.
Okay. I apologize. Rob, you're in the business. You produce hit comedies, or shall we say comedies?
Just comedy.
What if he wins? What happens? A trend.
That's the point. It's all funny, and then he wins.
Yes.
Look, campaign jingles work. Really, really terrible campaign jingles work. This could work. He's got plenty of time. I mean, it's better than the grainy black and white footage of what do we really know about Congresswoman Comstock, which we've all seen. This is something fresh. When this works, and I think this will work, it's going to be a trend. We'll see a lot more bad ads.
Kat, what did you think the pitch meeting was like when they were coming up with this?
He needs to fire all of his staff and cut all of his friends out of his life.
Yeah, really?
Because clearly they don't care about him, or they would not have let him do that. They let him think that was a good idea. I've seen leaks less damaging than that, and he did that on purpose. And that might be hurtful, but you know what? He hurt me by making me have to watch that, so I don't feel bad about it.
All right. Bree, maybe the joke is on us because we are playing the ad. It would have cost him to run an ad in this show over $13 million. Right, $13 million to run an ad. Just ask William Devane. But we just ran it for free.
Yeah, exactly. I think this is honestly a brilliant strategy. And I mean, I've known publicists who have used this tactic, make a really terrible video in order to get people, for it to go viral and everyone to pick it up and everyone to aggregate. This is how the news works now, and he's just playing the game. I mean, listen, as you said, we're talking about it on the show. I think The Tonight Show covered it, as well as several other late night shows. Also ran the clip and said his name. So I'm sure the traffic on his campaign site has gone through the roof. I mean, maybe it's annoying, but who cares if it's effective?
You've lost that.
Stop. I said stop. I'm going to start cussing.
You know, I long for the good old days when viral was something bad.
It's still something bad.
It is actually still something bad.
Yeah,
in fact,
right.
it's even worse now.
Yeah.
If I hear that word again, I'm going to explode. All right, we got to move on. Coming up, Rolling Stone magazine is for sale, and other things you can buy for $5. It was once an awesome mag, but now a hobo's snot rag. It rhymed. It's true. You can own Rolling Stone. Founder Jan Wenner, the J is silent, like his readers, has put his controlling stake in the 50-year-old magazine up for sale. But prospective buyers are disappearing faster than a pie at Michael Moore's house. Probably because the brand is now synonymous with editorial decisions. Remember 3 years ago they published a since discredited and retracted story of a rape at the University of Virginia? 3 lawsuits followed, costing them millions. The year before that, they put the Boston bomber on the cover like it was an issue of Tiger Beat. We're not going to show it because screw him. And then there's Rolling Stone's identity problem. Recent covers range from political, Rachel Maddow, Justin Trudeau, to these very, very old people I can't recognize, to these attractive nobodies, Jared Leto and Harry Styles. Both of those hang over my bed. The pictures. Bottom line, Rolling Stone is a losing purchase. A better investment, a goalie cat.
Ele Tafarel. Vai partir Cocu. Na perna esquerda. Ele Tafarel! Sai, que é sua!
Oh, it's worth every penny. Rob, you and I are probably born in the same decade. I'm probably younger, given that beard you have. I grew up reading Rolling Stone. Yeah. You could have P.J. O'Rourke and you could have Hunter S. Thompson in the same issue. Right. 2 diverse opinions, both great writers. Have you seen it lately?
Yeah, look, the problem is a great magazine is supposed to be surprising, right? Yeah. It's supposed to surprise you on every page. That one you could predict page to page to page. You know exactly what they're going to say. You know exactly what positions they were going to take. You knew everything. You didn't have to read it. It was really just an exercise in sort of kabuki theater to even print it in the first place.
Yeah, so, I don't know, Bree, I don't know who reads it now. I mean, what kind of enjoyment or pleasure do you get out of a lecture on paper? And it's all these things that New York editors think is important and valuable, but not actual People who listen to music cannot find any music in that magazine.
Yeah, I definitely think the magazine is going through this kind of weird time right now where they used to be the countercultural voice and now they've become the culture. And I think that's evidence in a lot of editorial decisions that they've been making as of late. As you pointed out, that story about the UVA rape, which there's huge holes in that. And I mean, part of the reason why they choose the stories that they do, I mean, they recently ran a very glowing article about Tim Gill, who's this mega rich, ultra rich LGBT activist who said he wanted to punish wicked Christians. You know, and I think that those decisions that they make in the stories that they decide to run really show that they're really in the bag in a lot of issues, to the point where they're not even going to do basic fact checking about issues, right?
Well, yeah, if you believe in the ending, there's no point in fact checking, because the fact checking will disrupt your ending. Kat, I have a theory. Rolling Stone is proof that wherever identity politics goes, the product suffers. We're seeing examples from the NFL to ESPN, the Democratic Party, the Emmys, college campuses, magazines like Rolling Stone, and even in New Republic, which was once a good, moderate, liberal magazine. Every time identity politics shows up somewhere, the thing rots from within.
Yeah, it's almost as if average Americans aren't interested in that issue.
Yes.
Every single thing I've heard about Rolling Stone within recent years is that they messed something up real bad.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's not a good sign. I love how when he was announcing he was selling it, he said, I love my job, I enjoy it, but I'm selling it. No, no, no. If you love something, you do not let it go. I don't care what the memes on the internet tell you. You got to keep it. He doesn't love it.
You know, Sting would disagree. And I do everything Sting says, Cyrus. Everything.
You really should probably not do that.
Really? Really?
I'm going to have to give you the nay-no on that.
The nay-no? Did you ever read Rolling Stone? How much do you think it would go for?
I'm stuck in this world. I don't get it, because I'll turn on MTV and not see music videos. I'll watch ESPN, not hear about sports. You want to open a thing of Rolling Stone, it's the Canadian Prime. I don't get it. It's supposed to be about music.
Yeah.
So if I want to learn about Eminem CD, I'm supposed to open up Rolling Stone, but it's just not. What happens is he's obviously trying to sell it because it's done. Plus, publishing is different now. You don't really need to wait every 30 days get your subscription to the magazine. You already know on the internet by looking it up. So times have changed, and the fact that it's become just an opinion bag, there's no riveting articles anymore. There's no writing anymore. It's all opinions. There's no facts, and there's still it's Rolling Stone, so I'm always looking for Mick Jagger, because if you tell me box of chocolates, where's the chocolates? Why is there tax in here?
You know what? I love this magazine. Whenever, when The Clash was on the cover, it was such a big deal. I cut it out. I put it on my wall. It was such a big deal, because that was your identity. You identified through music and not through pigment or different belief systems or whatever. It was you identified through your band when you were young, and that meant a lot to see that. And they just let that go, and they screwed their readers. And I would buy it, but I already have a job. So sorry, America. I'm not saving Rolling Stone. Don't go anywhere. Final thoughts next. I'll see you on Monday, the 5, at a new time, which is our old time. We're returning to 5 p.m. Eastern, but we're running out of time.
What you've wanted to say all show, but haven't had the chance to say, so here's your chance to say it right now.
Kat, do you have something for us?
Yes. Greg, you were right about the UN.
Thank you.
Nobody really likes it when they're in town. I actually went out and asked people, and you were right. Take a look. The UN's in town, everything's blocked off, and everything is a mess. Who needs this? You've been covering the UN since 1986. What does the UN do for the U.S.?
Well, basically, it's we pay, you bash us. That's the basic relationship.
We pay to be bashed, and that's good?
Well,
doesn't it seem like the U.S. is given a lot? You know, we're always remembering the anniversary, giving the better presents, and the UN really isn't.
Yeah, we're kind of like that rich stepdad supporting the family.
I've dated a lot of guys where I pay for everything and they just sit around eating sandwiches, and I don't want that for the country.
Yeah, I mean, I like sandwiches.
I wake up in the morning sometimes and I'm really sad, and I think about the UN, and I feel exactly the same.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Like, hey, we're the UN, we're dope, we're cool, and then like maybe more people would be into it. Yeah. They're not really into updating their social media. Saw their last tweet. Their last tweet says, Allied powers declare victory.
That was 1945, if I remember correctly.
Do you think it's possible that it's just kind of like a big plot by Big Flag so they can produce more flags? I'm just trying to educate the masses.
Okay, you have educated me.
It's one of those things where like Saturdays are for the boys, but the UN seems to think every day's Saturday.
That's true, yeah. Saturdays are for the boys. I can definitely agree with that.
Okay, thank you. Am I bashing the UN too much?
Oh, not to my taste.
Because I feel like, what are they going to do? Meet about it, right?
Yeah. Okay, thanks to Rob Long, Bree Payton, Catherine, our studio audience, I'm Greg Gutfeld. I love you, America.